Your systems don't need to be perfect. If you wait till your systems are perfect, your systems will be useless.
You're listening to the Profit First for Lawyers podcast, the official companion show to the book Profit First for Lawyers by RJon Robins. Now, this podcast is for you if you want to bring home more profit while working less hours in the office, spending more time with your loved ones doing the things you actually want to do, and turning your office into a lean, mean, profit-breathing machine. So if you're tired of working for your law firm instead of your law firm working for you, stay tuned for some really practical insights that will get you the results you've always wanted. It's time to put your BS aside for the next few minutes and put yourself, your family, your firm, and your profit first. Welcome back to another episode of the Profit First for Lawyers podcast. I'm your host, Carly, and today we are talking about one of the biggest quote-unquote secrets to the success that law firm owners who work with us routinely see in their businesses. And fair warning, but this secret doesn't sound particularly exciting. Honestly, it's not particularly exciting, but I'm really going to ask you to give RJon a chance to explain in this next clip, because this is one of the 7 main parts of every successful law firm, and it is a game changer. So today we're talking about part 3, production. Now, if you're following along in the book, RJon provides a really succinct and powerful definition on page 34 that I encourage you to reread whenever you get a chance. For now, I found an incredible clip from a keynote speech that RJon gave all the way back in 2015 that specifically addresses this topic. Turn your volume way up and enjoy. Let's roll the clip.
The topic that we're going to be working on today is the part of your business that has to do with the production, what we call the factory, making sure that the work product that gets sold and promised to the clients and customers actually can get produced and delivered in a systematic, organized, reliable, predictable, methodical way without you having to be there all the time, turning the wheel, turning the wheel, turning the wheel. Does that sound good to everyone? I want you to think about why that sounds good to you. And I'm not going to ask you to give me an answer, but I want you to just think about why does that sound so good to you? And every one of us probably has a very different answer as to why we want our business to be able to run without us. Some of you want your business to run without you so you can spend more time with your kids. Some of you want your business to be able to run without you so that you don't have to worry about if you get sick. Some of you want your business to be able to run without you so that you can be away from the day-to-day grind and have the freedom to go out and do the things you need to grow your business up to the next level. And some of you want your business to run without you because you want to protect your employees, because you've made a commitment to them that they're going to have a stable employment, and you know that if everything depends on you and you get hit by the proverbial bus or a real bus, they're not all going to be out of luck. And some of you want to build your business so that it can run without you so that you can sell it someday. Or you have other reasons. But I want you to really think about why you're doing this. Getting really clear on why you're doing all of this is more important for when it comes to creating the processes and the systems and the procedures that run your factory, that deliver the work product for you. It's more important to be clear on why you're doing this, more important than mastering sales. It's more important than mastering marketing. It's more important than when it comes to learning how to hire and train and manage and supervise and make a profit with your staff. It's more important than mastering the financial controls of your business. Certainly more important than the physical plant. Being really clear on why you are doing all of this is critical. You're not going to do the work you're going to learn to do today. You're not going to do it. I know you're not going to do it if you're not crystal clear on why you're doing all of this. Because the kind of courage that is required to create the sort of processes and policies and procedures and to build the systems that make your business run for you, that's a different kind of courage than the kind of courage needed to master sales. And it's a different kind of courage than the kind of courage needed to master marketing. And it's a different kind of courage than the kind of courage needed to make a profit from your staff. All of that kind of courage, the sales courage, the marketing courage, that's big, high energy, rah, rah, rah courage. The kind of courage that it takes to build a business that runs without you being there for days and weeks and months at a time. It's a quiet courage. It's a very different kind of courage. And that courage comes from being really clear on why you're doing all of this. What is quiet courage? Quiet courage is the unadorned action and is the opposite of procrastination, delay, and excuse. Quiet courage, a lack of quiet courage, incites an error of omission. Quiet courage resides deep inside and causes one to buck up and do what needs to be done, whether you want to or not. It's founded on internal fortitude. It's made real by self-discipline. Understanding the quiet courage concept is no surprise. It's just a matter of digging deeper to find out what really drives you. The quiet courage scenarios that escape notice are in contrast to the occasional overt gallant acts that earn instant recognition, such as challenging a boss with a delicate subject, such as approaching a neighbor with a legitimate but potentially inflammatory concern, or removing a delinquent from your life. Those are not acts of quiet courage. That's the rah-rah stuff we see in the movies. That's the stuff that we read about in the newspaper. No one's writing articles in the newspaper, and it's a damn shame that no one's writing articles in the newspaper and that there aren't more movies about quiet courage, because quiet courage is what really makes things happen in this world. Problems that will never happen can't sap your time and energy. Write that down. Problems that never happen cannot sap my time or my energy. It's easy to buy a product or to buy a service or to hire a consultant or to hire someone to come to the rescue for you after the shit has already hit the fan and you're in crisis mode. Quiet courage is the courage to prevent that stuff from happening so that you don't have to live your life on a roller coaster. It takes quiet courage to think about the internal policies in your business and write them down. It takes even more quiet courage to think about the external policies that you want to have in your business and write those down. It takes even more courage to think through the procedures for how shit is gonna get done in your business by someone other than you. And then take those procedures and put them to the test by asking someone who doesn't read your mind to do this procedure. And then the ultimate act of quiet courage, quiet, terrifying courage, is entrusting that person after you've thought through your policies, after you've thought through your procedures, after you've documented the systems for how things are supposed to get done, after you have tested those systems, After you have fixed the systems, after your test has revealed that your original systems suck, which they will, write that down. I give myself permission for my first set of policies and procedures and systems to suck. Give yourself that permission now. And even after you've thought about them, even after you've consulted with your CEO, even when you've consulted with your COO, even when you've consulted with your whole team, and even when you've tested them and fixed them, and then tested them and fixed them, that very first time that your teenager drives the car out of the driveway by themselves, parents in the room, it's terrifying, right? And yet somehow you do it. How is it that you find the courage to let your kid drive that car out of the driveway? Because they're smart? Just because they're responsible? Just because you love them so much and care so much about them? Is it just because it's such a great car? No, it's because you trained them. You train them, you teach them, you show them documented processes. That's called the rules of the road. You teach them how the rules work with the red light and the yellow light and the green light and the stop sign and the yield sign. And then you put them through some driver's ed training. And then you drive with them while you're in the passenger seat while they're driving so you can pre-test them. Then you give them a test, which is where they get their driver's license. Then you put them out on the road. Muhammad Ali, I hated every minute of training. But I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. I'm saying to all of you, thinking through and documenting your internal policies, it's not sexy. It's not fun like going and doing a sales workshop. Documenting your procedures, it's not exciting. No one's cheering, no one's hooting and hollering. Thinking through your systems and documenting your systems for how your business is going to function without you being there day in and day out, week in and week out, month in after drudgery, month out. Documenting those systems, it's not glorious, but it's necessary if you want to get the glory. It requires that quiet courage. So you got a choice to make. Are you going to run your life only on fairy tale, high energy, high testosterone, ego-driven courage? Or are you going to run your life on real courage?
Hey folks, popping in really quickly to share that Profit First for Lawyers, the book, is officially a bestseller and has reached #1 spots in almost every category that it's listed in. We have sold thousands and thousands of copies, and we've heard how much the concepts are making a difference for law firm owners, well, and honestly, for folks that own any type of business. So if you haven't snagged your copy yet, click the link in our show notes and get yours today. Now back to the show.
I want you to begin to recognize that everything in this world is a system. Everything is a system or a subsystem or a sub-subsystem. The reason why the world works is because of systems. And the good news is 99.999% of the world's systems do work. In fact, the world's systems work so well, so predictably, so reliably, so efficiently, that when they don't work, it's a catastrophe and everyone notices it. I want you to turn your business inside out, from one where when something does work, it's something to celebrate, into a business where everything works well enough such that when something doesn't work, it really stands out like a sore thumb. I want all of you to learn to recognize the systems in your business. I want you all to learn to recognize the systems in other people's businesses. When you go to a restaurant, notice the system for how the order gets to the kitchen. Notice the system for how the food gets from the kitchen back to your table. Notice the system for how things get paid. Think about all the systems and subsystems that have to be going on back in the kitchen in order for things to get to your table fresh, hot, safe, tasty, or even at all. There has to be a system for budgeting the acquisition of the food. There has to be a system for hiring, training, managing staff to prepare the food. There has to be a system for managing the physical plant so there's actually a stove with gas to cook the food. I mean, I could spend an entire day just talking about the systems that are required to get the food from the farm to your table. Think about those systems. When you turn the key on your car, think about all the systems that have to take place to make that car work. When you look at the engine under the hood, notice there is a cooling system which is separate and distinct from the fuel delivery system, which is separate and distinct from the exhaust system, which is separate and distinct from the electrical system that explodes the fuel. These are all systems. That's why when your brakes aren't working, you don't go and try to fix the radio. That's why when you get a flat tire, you don't go and try to fix the transmission. Because intuitively, you understand that there are subsystems that make that automobile work. Well, you can have the same kind of thing in your own business. You do have the same kind of thing in your own business. The problem is in your business, many of these systems are ignored. They're ignored, and then they don't work. And then you don't end up with a business, you only end up with a practice because you've got to make up the absence of systems. You have to subsidize the lack of systems with your own sweat. Think about this. You're subsidizing the absence of systems with your own sweat. You're subsidizing the absence of systems with every apology you make to your kids for why you can't be there for them for their after-school event. You're subsidizing the absence of those systems, the neglect of those systems. You're subsidizing it every time you say, I don't have time to fill in the blank. Your systems don't need to be perfect. If you wait till your systems are perfect, your systems will be useless.
Your systems don't need to be perfect, because if you wait until your system is perfect, your system will be useless. Whew. Now, RJon warned us that this particular lesson wasn't sexy. But like I said, it is one of the most profitable things that you can do for your law firm. And it may be one of the most boring things you ever do as a law firm owner. But if you get this done, you will see your law firm grow. It will be more profitable and you will have so much more personal freedom as well. And if you don't know how to even get started, try scheduling time on your calendar right now. No, literally right now. Take out your phones and just commit a few hours per week to digging in and doing the very unglamorous, very boring, very quietly courageous, and very profitable work of documenting your systems step by step. And that's what we've got for you today, folks. Thanks for spending some of your time with me. If you found this episode valuable, here are just a few things you can do to take action today. 1. Visit our page at profitfirstforlawyers.com/action to download our free resources curated just for you by me. 2. Make sure that you snag your copy of RJon's book, Profit First for Lawyers, wherever you usually buy your books. And 3. Leave this podcast a 5-star review to help us be discovered by even more law firm owners just like you. And stay tuned next time for even more great content that will get you the results you've always wanted. We'll see you then. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Profit First for Lawyers. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, tell a friend. And visit profitfirstforlawyers.com/action to download the resources that are going to help you put these concepts to work for your law firm. Your future self will thank you for it, and we will see you next time.